We're back, baby, live and better than ever. Welcome everybody to episode 337 of the Hoots podcast. Hope you miserable, grotesque, morose imbeciles in the wide world of professional wrestling are having a wonderful week so far. It is yours truly, the nefarious brother Adam, coming to you live from the fortress of Joshie.
No! Wait, Josh. There's another voice coming through. Did you hear it?
I don't know. I think maybe my ears are deceiving me.
Are your ears deceiving you? I don't think they are, Josh. I think you got a co-host. I think you got a co-host this week, baby.
Oh boy, here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out. Kids, hide your kids, hide your wives. It's the one and only Brother Carter himself, Derek Stoughton.
Guess who's back? Back again. Brother Carter's back. The elite sucks. There you go. Welcome. Oh, it's so good. Good to be back with you. Good to be back with all the great people. As always, the director of operations, big things popping, little things stopping. He out there making the world go round, 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 baby. That's what he does. But he is back. It's been a few weeks since I've had a chance to be live with all of you. I am so happy to be back. Great to see you, Josh. Great to hear and see all the fans. Can't wait to hear all the great questions and all that good stuff. Man, Josh, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling super oozy this week. Let's go, baby.
We'll get to a lot of the WWE stuff in just a little bit, but we have our usual ordeals to get to. First of all, I just want to say thank and say gratitude to each and every single one of you who support the podcast each and every single week. We drop a new episode every single Thursday, anywhere you get a podcast from. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've been getting a nice spike of subscribers recently. It's been nice to see there. So make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also YouTube introducing you a new thing, or it's easier to find channels. You know how they have handles on Twitters? They add those on YouTube. So pretty simple deal. Follow us on YouTube at the Hoots Podcast as well.
I love it. That's true.
Also, by the way, I put this out on Twitter. Me and Brother Carter were talking a little bit about this before we came on air, but coming up soon, just in time for the holiday season, ladies and gentlemen. Here at the Hoots Podcast, we like to give back to our good brothers and good sisters. We don't have fans.
Absolutely.
Our egos are not that big, you know, Brother Carter, and we like to give back to the people who support us. So coming up soon, I'll say maybe in 2 weeks.
Okay.
We're going to have our first line of Hoots Podcast merchandise.
That's awesome. Yes, that's awesome.
So not only will you get the show logo, as you see on the top of the screen and our YouTube channel, you're also going to be welcome with what may be the best piece of art. I don't even think Picasso could really put this together, if we're being honest here, Brother Carter. Ladies and gentlemen, the official t-shirt for the best segment in all of podcasting. What the hell is wrong with the AEW?
Oh, good. Folks, if you
video version, so you can see what just went there.
I was going to say, for the audio version, this is one of those folks. If you're listening to the audio version, you definitely need to go and check out the audio version this week. The video version this week, excuse me. You've got to check this thing out. This is unbelievable. This artwork. There it is right there. This might be the greatest piece of art that's ever been produced. Look at that. Look at that. You've got Micah Naka at the end. You've got Cutlet. You've got Aubrey. Hey, Josh, look, Aubrey's trying to put herself over even still in this still graphic. Unbelievable. You've got Dan Clausen. You've got Jared. Oh, my God. You've got Punk acting like a complete fool. Oh, my God. I'm sick and I'm old and I work with fucking children. Go, you freaking. Well, never mind.
All right.
I probably should say a bunch of explicitives at the start of the show, but this is a brilliant masterpiece. Everybody, just in time for the holidays, give this to your friends. Give this to your enemies. Give it to whoever you want to give it to. But show your love for the greatest segment in all of wrestling podcasting. Get your merch in 2 weeks.
2 weeks time, folks. And hey, you can get this picture right here, right on a hoodie. You know, I got my Acknowledge Me hoodie because we got this Acknowledge the Tribal Chief, you know.
Absolutely. Throw your ones up.
Hey, it's a piece of beautiful art. I will say that. Not even Lily Aldrin could put this together.
No, she could
But
absolutely not.
anyways, we got a lot to get to. Like Bert Carson, it's been a long time since me and him have shared a camera with each other. I'm glad we can do this again, and we're gonna wrap up this 2022 with a bang, aren't we, Brother Carter?
Man, we've got. So I was thinking about. We were talking a little bit offhand before we got started. So you and I haven't really recapped Full Gear since Full Gear happened, and then we took a week off to give thanks to everybody. So we'll touch on a little bit of Full Gear in the segment, or as I call it, half empty gear, because a lot of people say that the glass is half full. I had a feeling that this was going to be, this was going to be a half empty show. And I have a feeling, I didn't watch the show because I wasn't going to waste my time, but I have a feeling that I was correct in my assessment of this being a half empty show. And then, of course, we'll get into AEW. Also looking forward to recapping Survivor Series. Some great action that happened at Survivor Series this week, and I can't wait to get started, man. Busy week. A lot of stuff going on. I can't wait to get to it.
As MVP says, big things popping, little things stopping. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road. You guys ready to answer some questions?
I am, always. Yeah.
As always, here at the Hoots Podcast is a weekly tradition. One of my favorite segments of the show, otherwise known as the Back Porch Q&A session, as it is this podcast. We bring you that back porch field. Drink some water, consume some alcohol. If you're one that likes to consume alcohol, please do it responsibly. As a straight edge guy, I have to remind people that. But in the meantime, sit back and just relax and think. Pretend that me and Burkhart are next to you, and we're gonna have a good time talking about what's going on in life in wrestling. So let's do this.
Let's do it.
All right. As always, you can submit questions to the Hoots Podcast at the Hoots Podcast on Twitter or the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. We start off as we usually do with the good brother Chris Zaletta at X Team Zaletta 24X on the Twitter machine.
For Chris Zaletta, absolutely.
By the way, Des Bryant did catch that ball in the Packers playoff game, but that's neither here or there. Anyways, let's get this started. All right, what up, Oos? Welcome back. Here's some questions for the Q&A this week. What was your favorite match from Survivor Series?
Well, Josh, I only had a chance to see bits and pieces of the show, but so I'll defer to you on this one.
My answer is going to be different just for a match purpose, because I think the obvious pick would be the Men's War Games match, just due to the story and the drama and stuff like that. But for me, for match purposes, Brother Carter, I am going with the triple threat match of Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory for the United States Championship, which, by the way, is the #1 title on Monday Night Raw. I still get it that Roman Reigns still has both titles, but as Seth Rollins said, and it's been kind of true with how this title's been positioned since Triple H has taken over, really, U.S. is basically the main title on Monday Night Raw. And this match was an absolute barn burner to the cows come home. 3 different type of performers in their own right, and a lot of different experiences. Lashley represents the Ruthless Aggression era. Rollins represents that PG era, Punk, Shield, John Cena era. Not PG, reality era. There you go. Sure. And now here we are, the new regime, the new transition, new generation 2.0, if you will. So you have Austin Theory. Go ahead.
But Josh, with his failed cash in, Austin Theory was done. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now he's holding the main title. He's holding the main title on Raw, but he was done because of his cash in.
Right. It's just so stupid. It amazes me, Brett Carr, how much wrestling fans. I'm sorry, I should say that with the disclaimer. Insecure marks on Twitter end up in the ante over whenever people lose a match, lose a title, or lose a briefcase. A briefcase, somebody that's never going to be successful cashing it in the first place. But yes, correct. He's buried. Absolutely.
Hey, Josh, MVP said it best. The worst wrestling fans in the world are wrestling fans. Like that's just like that. It's just like wrestling fans are the worst. Wrestling fans are the worst wrestling fans.
Yeah, Austin Theory is that good. I think that his career is over because he didn't cash in the Money in the Bank is kind of silly. But anyways, that's wrestling Twitter for you. How about this question here? Did you miss having a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match elimination? My bad. Did you miss having a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match this year? I don't know. I just think, a lot of people have had these debates about whether the concept of Survivor Series has been, becoming stale, or maybe we've overdone the Raw versus SmackDown concept of Survivor Series 5-on-5 matches. I saw 3 of them when they had the Raw SmackDown NXT one in Chicago in 2019. I don't get me wrong. I'm as traditionalist as a wrestling fan as any of them, as anybody who does shows like this. I don't hide away from the fact that I am a traditionalist, but I think this year really worked with the concept of having it being War Games. So, okay, yeah, it would have been maybe cool if you had OC and a couple other people against Judgment Day and maybe one extra member of their team, or you could have made it a mix 5-on-5 Survivor Series match with Mia Yim and Rhea Ripley in it. You could have done that. But for me, I kind of like this concept of the way they went with it because it's different. And I think both matches in their own right delivered. And hey, it still had a Survivor concept to it. You're in War Games, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Survive.
Yeah, I think it worked this year. I think to reintroduce the audience to War Game, to a main audience to War Games, because War Games was really just an NXT concept when it was happening there. So I think to reintroduce the fans to that, I think was a really good idea. I don't think they need to do it every year. I think next year, if they want to just go back to the traditional 5-on-5, that's fine. Or, or if they even just, and like the traditional 5-on-5 doesn't have to even be the main storyline. That can just be a match for the sake of having a match. If they want, I actually don't mind the concept. I know you're like, oh, it might be outdated, but I actually don't mind. Like, I really liked when they had the bragging rights concept. I thought that was actually a really cool concept with Raw versus SmackDown. And if you want to get NXT in there, I think that'd be fine too, to showcase some new talent, give some NXT talent a chance to be on the main roster and to have the opportunity to perform in front of a large audience. So just for me personally, I didn't miss the matches, but I don't think they need to do War Games every year. I think you can save War Games for a specific, like you can have it as an as needed match. So I think they should go back to traditional next year and do the bragging rights concept. I actually thought that was terrific, but that's just me.
Yeah, just like Triple H said in his press conference after Survivor Series, they have to reevaluate their pay-per-view calendar and, have these gimmick style matches for actual worthwhile reasons, not just to, okay, I'm in War Games. Next month, I'm going to challenge you to a TLC match. You have to balance it somehow and make it reasonable. Oh. But that's a good question, Chris. I'm glad you asked that. All right, next one here for Chris. He says, with the lack of star power currently on SmackDown, the women's division, the SmackDown women's division, if a minor trade had to be done, who would you send to Raw and who would you send to SmackDown? Well, I'm going to say something that people don't want to hear. You want to know why the SmackDown women's division has no depth? I don't really have to say it. I think there's an elephant in the room that should already tell you why the division is lacking depth. Bruised egos and performers who think they're above the promotions they work for. That's the answer to my question to that.
Yep.
Look, I love Naomi. She's a great person. She's a good performer. I have my stance on Sasha Banks. Her fans make me more indifferent to her than her own doing. But she also is at fault of this too. She is. Injuries. No, don't get me wrong. There's been mishaps with certain performers being put in different positions. I didn't think Lacey Evans would take a step back as much as she did since she came back from her pregnancy. I've liked the fact that Shayna Baszler's been doing more stuff weekly with Ronda Rousey, but are we really going to believe Shayna Baszler's going to take the title off of her anytime soon? Probably not. The Leah stuff did not work out. Yes, there's faults with it, but to say it lacks depth and they need trades, oh, golly, I wonder why.
Well, What I was going to say is this. By the way, Josh, have you noticed that nobody really cares about Sasha and Naomi anymore? Maybe it's just me.
I don't
like. They've been gone so long. It's like, okay, you don't want to be here. That's fine. We've got a ton of star talent on the main roster that we can elevate. We got some hungry folks down in NXT ready to go. You don't want to be here? Fine. We'll see you later. Go be in AEW, make your billions of dollars being relegated to dark, and collect your check and go home. That's fine. I will say, Josh, the one part of the missing that's missing too is, and I cannot wait for the return of your queen, of my queen, of our queen. Woo! That's going to help a lot. So I think that would be good. I also think that Alexa Bliss should go over to SmackDown, just because, they've started to tease on Raw a little bit. My automated device, when I said the word, went off again. But but no, I think Bliss should go to SmackDown. I've always said that's been her best character, has been when she's been the Fiend. So once Bray Wyatt starts to slip back into the his demented self, she can join that. I think that's a perfect role for her. So nobody cares about Sasha and Naomi anymore. The Queen needs to come back, and I think Bliss should go to SmackDown. That's just me.
Just call her Lexi and you'll be good. Lexi.
There you go. Very good.
Let's not be mistaken too. I mean, you still have Liv Morgan, who's been more of a recent addition since she became the champion. Shotzi Blackheart, we'll get to that when we get to the Survivor Series review, because I know a lot of people were ragdolling that match and Ronda Rousey. But she's been getting more opportunity. Emma just came back to the company, so you can see her on TV. But also, it's not just the women's wrestlers who are vying for championships. There's been a lot more emphasis on female managers. We've had Queen Selena Vega join Legado del Fantasma. We got B-Fab with Hit Row. You got Sarah Logan, who's now called Valhalla with the Viking Raiders. And you got Chicago's finest waterfall, Scarlett Bordeaux with Karrion Kross. So it's a mixed bag. I wouldn't say that the SmackDown Women's Division is lacking depth, but if you want to say that they're having a lack of depth, we know the reasons why to that. Charlotte has not been on the show for 4 or 5 months. And we have Naomi and Sasha, who think their shit don't stink. That's the truth of the matter. Yeah. So,
and now literally nobody cares about them anymore. It's just over.
I'm so excited that Sasha basically going to go into AEW thanks to Bow Wow. I am on pins and needles for that. We're going to say that to later on, because I don't know what the fuck that was.
God, what in the? Sorry, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
You're starting to get me pent up here, Josh. It's been a long time since I've had the chance to really express my displeasure with this company. So we got to pace ourselves here. Let's go.
Correct. We got a couple questions about the Bloodline and what to do with them and Roman Reigns and stuff like that. We're going to save that to this week in WWE, because I think there's a big conversation that needs to be had about not only what's going to happen with that group, but what you do at the Royal Rumble, and also Cody Rhodes and how he ties it into this as well. So we'll save that this week in WWE. His next question here is thoughts on Dijak, aka T-Bar, back in NXT. I think that's a cool deal. Pretty happy for him. He looked really well in his match on Tuesday on NXT against Dante Chen. And excuse me 1 second.
No, you're good. Got to take the swig of water, of course. It's
water for the working man.
You got us so excited talking about him. You got your throat all choked up there. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but Dijak, I like the look. He's not T-Bar. He's back doing his own thing. And here's a good fresh start for him. So I don't think it's a bad thing.
I've always been a fan of Dijakovic, so I'm glad he's getting another shot to show us what he can really do under the Triple H regime. So I'm all about it.
Yes. The man, the T-Bar. The purveyor of justice.
God. Remember that retribution gimmick, Josh? Oh, yeah. They tried. It. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
This is gonna pop referee Tony. You know what's funny about that is that Retribution was better than the House of Torture. Anybody that watches New Japan will understand what I'm saying. All right, let's go to the last question here for Chris. He says, "Who should be the final competitors in the men and women's Iron Survivor Challenge match?" This may be news to you, Brother Carter. The last premium live event for WWE is NXT Deadline, which takes place on December 10th. I believe it's this Saturday.
I heard about this. Yeah.
This is the last pay-per-view of the year for NXT. Basically, the premise for this pay-per-view it's a unique concept. So basically, they're having Iron Man matches, fatal 5-way Iron Man matches, but with a different twist. So if you get pinned or submitted during the match, you have to be in a penalty box for a certain amount of time. Now, I know people are going to roll their eyes. Oh, you mean the King of the Mountain? No, you're not. You're not stuck in a penalty box and having to set up a fucking ladder and climb up and put the ladder on a ring. That's not what it is. Basically, it's an Iron Man match, and you get consequences for getting pinned or submitted. So you're in there for a certain amount of time, and each match are 25 minutes each. They're gonna have one for the men and the women, and the winner of those matches become number one contenders for the NXT and NXT Women's Championships. So they're doing those. That's the feature attraction for NXT Deadline. Hey, it works with the concept of the pay-per-view. It's out of the box. I'm kind of intrigued from it from a transcript point of view because I like challenges and this is a different type of match and feel. Really quick, as I went over the rules of what's going on with this. So what's your thoughts on it? Are you intrigued by it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a new concept, so I'm always willing to give it a shot. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but again, you try something new and see if it works. If it works, awesome. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's okay. But let's just give it a shot. I'm with anything in wrestling, I'm always willing to give it at least one chance to see if it works. So let's see if it works. Maybe WWE stumbled onto something. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. So they're having 2 more qualifying matches on NXT next week, and then the pay-per-view is a week from this Saturday actually, because
right.
It's the third, right? This Saturday.
The third is this Saturday, yeah, because we're recording this on the 1st. It's dude, it's December already. Holy cow! I can't believe it's December already, man.
Oof. I feel like the Royal Rumble is like 2 months ago, and we got the Royal Rumble next month.
I know it, but. Man, in the next couple of weeks, we'll have to do our year-end awards, Josh. I think that's going to be a fun show. We'll have to do that here coming up.
Well, we'll have to get that done before Christmas.
Yeah, we will. So be on the lookout in the next couple of weeks for the year-end awards given out by the Hoots podcast. So, yes. but who do you like? Who do you like as the final 2, Josh? To go back to the question there.
Okay. I think Von Wagner will probably be the 5th one for the guys. I can see that just because you have different style of performers in each match. So I'm fine with that. If it was something, if Andre Chase would win, I wouldn't mind that. It wouldn't bother me, but I just don't see. Like, Andre Chase is a good wrestler, but he has so much of the comedic elements in him that I just don't think he's at that point of becoming an NXT champion. But I'm gonna go with Von Wagner to win for the men, and then for the ladies, it's hard to say, man. I think it's a toss up. It really is. I can see Indy Hartwell possibly getting that spot. I'm curious to see how that match is going to go. I'm not really sure. That triple threat match is going to be interesting because either any of the girls in that match could win that match too. So NXT Deadline is going to be a cool show. I'm looking forward to transcribing that. It should be some good times, if you will. Awesome. Shout out to Mr. Chris Zaletta, X Team Zaletta 24X on the Twitter. Throw up the X.
Thank you, Chris, always for the question.
Yes, sir. We didn't get a lot of questions, so we'll also have some time maybe to squeeze in to talk about football while we're doing this.
I definitely want to talk about your Bears a little bit, Josh. They are in an interesting position.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that here in just a second.
Interesting is a understatement. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next questions here from Mike Rubio, good brother at Main Event Swerve down in Texas, Houston, Texas. He says, "Hey, Josh, I'm feeling the most UCI I have felt all year after a solid Survivor Series weekend. So here's
That's
the
what I'm
question
talking about.
for Back Porch this week. Glad to hear that, brother. All right. We see the numbers for Triple H, talking about like business and stuff like that. But was this the best Survivor Series ever to you? It's so early to say what it was or wasn't. It's gonna be up there for me. I think it's probably the most complete Survivor Series I've seen in the last 5 to 10 years. But so hard to pick because a lot of those late 90s, early 2000s Survivor Series were really, really good. I know a lot of people look back at Survivor Series 2005 as a popular Survivor Series event. I don't know. I mean, Survivor Series compared to like the Rumble and WrestleMania, like I always looked at Survivor Series as the show that's always had bigger moments as opposed to complete and just barn burner pay-per-views. You know what I mean? Like I can rattle off 100 different moments from Survivor Series, like Sting making his WWE debut, helping out against the Authority, the Alliance, the Invasion Angle coming to an end. You know, the Shield making their debut to help CM Punk. Rock having his first match in 2011, his first match in 7 years. There's so many different memories, but I never looked at the collective Survivor Series like, okay, I can pick out this Survivor Series as I could pick out a SummerSlam or a Royal Rumble or something. You know what I mean? Am I talking about my britches?
Yeah, no. Like, at the Survivor Series, there isn't a lot of like the great moments, you know, but there have been some memorable, like you said, the Shield. Isn't that where I think Sheamus cashed in at Survivor Series to win a world title, I believe, didn't he? So there was that. Of course, the most famous incident in wrestling history happened at a Survivor Series.
Exactly.
So, there's that. It's just, I still go back to 2019 when you had NXT involved, and that was unbelievable. And we thought we were going to see the rise of Adam Cole, but we know what happened there. But so it really is what you're interested in, whether you're talking about matches, moments. It's just hard to say.
Goldberg squashing Brock Lesnar.
Right. Oh, well, you remember The Rock had his first match back in 7 years at a WrestleMania when he teamed with John Cena.
Yep.
So there you go.
I buried alive matches. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Did Undertaker and Vince have one like 03 or something like that? Kane buried his brother alive.
I try to forget the buried alive matches, Josh.
Oh, you're hurting my soul, brother Carter. That's right in my wheelhouse, man. Undertaker, you're buried alive.
That's some good shit, pal.
I could be wrong, but didn't he lose every buried alive match he was in?
I think he did, yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Let's go to the next question here. What is more likely to happen? Sami turning on the Bloodline or the entire Bloodline turning on Sami at Mania? I don't see a scene where it's at WrestleMania and the Bloodline turn on Sami. I think you would probably be done beforehand, right? So I'm probably gonna say, if I had to pick one here, I'd probably say Sami turns on the Bloodline and he takes Kevin Owens' advice. But to have that moment happen at WrestleMania, I don't know how that worked because, again, we don't even know what that Roman Reigns is going to do. I know a lot of people are so like, oh, he's going to fight The Rock. Yeah, we're going to have Roman and Rock for the title. I don't even know if Roman's going to be the champion by the time WrestleMania comes.
Roman and Rock doesn't need the title,
No, it doesn't.
No. Or you could also, I know they're doing it in Hollywood, so that's probably what they're thinking, but yeah, I guess you have to do it there because you can't really have that in Philadelphia for 40.
Why do you have to remind me that WrestleMania is there?
I don't know. Yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, I could see a couple different scenarios. I could see Sami winning the Royal Rumble.
Oh no.
Because if Sami wins the Royal Rumble, then by accidentally eliminating Jay or something, like there's an accident, and then you can start some dissension there. because again, Cody doesn't. Let's be honest, Cody doesn't need it. So
I don't know about that.
but
Let's save it. Let's save it for this week in WWE. All right.
Okay, let's do it. Yep.
I'm feeling too much of prisoner of the moment Daniel Bryan stuff here with Sami Zayn, and I'm gonna make my point when we get to that segment.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try to take away from Sami Zayn because he's been one of the best performers in the industry over the last couple of months. Absolutely, but I'm getting too much of this 2014 crap of Sami must win the Royal Rumble. Like I don't believe that.
Well, I didn't say he is going to the win. I'm just throwing out an idea, we'll see.
Right. Let's see what Mike here has next. Who is your favorite to win the Rumble going into summer with 2 months to go? Oh man. I put some good money on Seth Rollins. I would. For me, I'm still going with Cody. I think for me, just for surprise element and just realistically, who's really going to take the title off him? I love Cross, but you're not going to have Roman fight Cross at WrestleMania.
No.
I don't think it's gonna be KO. I mean, it would be a nice gift to KO for the fact that he got to the main event and had that moment with Stone Cold last year. So maybe his reward is he becomes a champion at WrestleMania. Like, I think that'd be cool. But I think for me right now, I'd probably go with Seth Rollins or Cody.
Okay. My number one choice is Cody. I think if Cody is healthy, he's got to win it. It just has to. That'd be an incredible comeback story. The crowd will go nuts. I think I said as Roman was starting to go on his run, there's only one person I think that I could see taking the title off of him, and it's Cody. Now there's a second person I could see taking the title off of him, and we'll get to that when we get into this week in WWE. But I've got the first choice winning is Cody. I'll say it. I've got the second choice is Sami Zayn. I think that I know we've seen that story before, but I think that could be a good one. I think the third choice is Kevin Owens. I think those are your top three choices to win it right now. Cody 1, Zayn 2, and then Kevin Owens is 3. I think would be great. What do you think on the women's side, Josh?
That's a good question. Ain't Sasha.
No, God. If they did that, they won't.
I would not feel good about that.
No, that'd be a.
I think you have you'll have a what the hell is wrong AEW style rant towards WWE for me if that happens. Okay,
agreed.
Isn't it Becky at this point? I think it's either. I love to say Charlotte, but I think Charlotte probably won it twice already, right? So
has she won it twice already? I know she's won it once. Has she won it twice?
Here's how I'm mapping it out. I think it works better for Becky to win the Rumble on her own accord and go after Ronda from there, and then have Charlotte win like the Women's Elimination Chamber match, sure. And that's how she could fight Bianca Belair.
Sure,
that's how I would do it.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's got to be either one of those. With I think the dark horse possibly being Rhea Ripley, because
that's a good choice too. Yep.
Again, this is your dark horse pick, just out of nowhere, because that could fuel the Judgment Day thing.
Shout out to Rhea, by the way.
Oh my gosh, she's been phenomenal lately. God, she's been incredible. But we'll get to that here in this week in WWE.
Next question here from Mike. He says, does the men's Iron Survivor Challenge feel a bit underwhelming for you? No, I think it's quite apropos for what it is right now for NXT 2.0. You have Carmelo Hayes, you got Tony D'Angelo. Let me pull up this card really quick for Deadline, so we can be accurate, pal. We don't want to lead you astray like the Observer, right, Brother Carter?
Oh my God! And Seltzer spewing his nonsense, his rumory nonsense.
Right. All right. So here's the field for the men's match. It's Carmelo Hayes, Jordan Devlin from NXT UK, Grayson Waller, good pick in that match as well. Joe Gacy, who's done some good work in NXT, and then the wild cards for that match is either Von Wagner, like I mentioned earlier, Axiom, or Andre Chase. For the ladies, it's Zoe Stark, Cora Jade, good waterfall from Chicago. Roxanne Perez, Kiana James, and a wild card either Wendy Chu, Fallon Henley, or Indy Hartwell. So no, I wouldn't say I'm underwhelmed. I think it's quite an apropos field here. Now, if I had to make any substitutions, maybe I would either add Tyler Bate or Ilya Dragunov, but I think they're off TV for purpose because I think they're about to revamp NXT Europe soon. So that's probably why they're not in this match. But as far as who's announced, I really don't have an issue with it.
Right.
Yeah. I think the match concept is going to be the most intriguing aspect of this match, not who's in it.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. For sure.
All right. Who do I think is the fifth woman for the Iron Survivor Challenge? I'm gonna go either go Indy Hartwell or Wendy Chu. That's gonna be my pick. Wendy Chu is that funny. She does the sleeping that gimmick. It's pretty funny.
Do you see a scenario where Indy Hartwell goes and bees with Dexter Lumis now that he's officially on the Raw roster?
Yeah. Possibly. I can see that. Indy's been kind of weird recently on NXT where she's like, she still gets cheered, but she's acting like a heel and then saying that you only got to rely on yourself. Like, I haven't seen her like really like attack people from behind like a heel would. She's just like in this weird in between. I don't know where they're going with her, to be honest with you. That's a good question though. Let's go to the next one here. What do you think about the chemistry between Katana Chance and Kaden Carter on NXT? A lot of NXT questions this week. Do these ladies have long-term tag team champ potential? I think the chemistry just stems from the fact that they are really good real-life friends, and that seems to pop up a lot in wrestling. I like their matches. I think they're very athletic. I think they overcompensate for athleticism and speed by doing like 20 reversals out of Irish whips in a match. I think that could throw that off, and that's me being nitpicky as a guy who transcribes matches 24 hours a day. And I'll admit I've become jaded to what's a good match and what isn't in today's wrestling standards, because what stands out to me may not stand out to people. A lot of people like tumbling routines, kind of like this fucking carnival fest we've been seeing on TBS over the last couple weeks. But for me, like, I'm not into that shit. I'm not. It doesn't pop me. It doesn't stand out to me. I can't really process what I'm typing. And so, like, for these girls, I like what they're doing, but they kind of overcompensate in some ways where they try too much to squeeze out a 15-minute match. And I like them, but I don't see them as long-term tag team champs because of that reason.
Sure.
And they really don't cut a lot of promos too, so that also doesn't help.
Right. Interesting.
And when you look at Toxic Attraction with Gigi and Jason, it's not a knock towards Kaden and Katana. They're good attractions on their own for looks and all that fun stuff, but they're more well-rounded as performers. I'm just going to be honest. They're more well-rounded than Katana and Kaden are. All right. I was not expecting this many NXT questions this week, Brother Carter.
I like it. You're the NXT expert here, my friend.
We got another one right here. Aoife Valkyrie from XCK is coming to NXT, and a lot of people are excited. So am I. What do you want to see first from her when she debuts? Any chance we see Amel debut later? Look, I am all for NXT UK performers, male or female, again, obviously to have some national US TV exposure. It's good for them. She is a gem, Brother Carter. I'm just going to say right now, if you guys have not watched Aoife Valkyrie, she has just a very cool perspective and look to her character. It's very Paige-esque, mixed with Becky Lynch, mixed with it's hard to explain. Like, I wouldn't call her like fully gothic or anything like that, but she also is a girl who has like a lot of vignettes attached to her, and I wouldn't say like full Twilight movies like that, but like she has an orator and a presence, and it's very, very different. And I think she's gonna do some great stuff. Do I see her automatically going for a championship? No. If it was me, I would have her start feuding with Corey Jade.
No.
Or Zoe Stark, maybe, because hey, Zoe Stark is now a heel.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that she turned. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't like AEW where you immediately get a title shot just because you're a new signee in the flavor of the month.
Exactly. You're hashtag all late. You get a 20-minute match nobody gives a shit about for a title.
And then relegated to dark. Welcome to the big time, buddy.
Yes. Oh man. Oh, how about this one?
Okay.
Oh man. I may have to take this one because you're already spoken for. He says here, who is someone that even if you're in a relationship, who would you risk it all for, so to speak? So what he's referring, like I said, it's gonna be my question. The thoughts here and expressions are not the representations of one brother Carter here. He is spoken for. He has that field all covered. We're all good. All right.
Thank you for clarifying. Just in case I would prefer not to be sleeping on a couch for the next 20 years for this one. So yes,
we're responsible here at Who's Podcast. We need pertinent disclaimers.
I appreciate that. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.
All right. I think he's referring more to like celebrities to say like I'm in a relationship and like, wow, here is Jennifer Aniston in front of me, you know.
Who's your hall pass question?
Right.
It's your I got you.
That's a great question. I'll be honest with you guys. Nobody really knows this about me. Just because of my life and how things work. I was really never really big into like watching movies and watching long-term television shows. Like I didn't watch Breaking Bad. I didn't watch Better Call Saul. I did not watch Game of Thrones. I'm sorry. Dungeons and Dragons and Game of Thrones just not my field. No offense if that is. I don't judge anybody. Like that's not my deal. But I've been starting to watch some more stuff on Netflix, and I've been challenging myself to try to get out of my routine schedule and try some different things. So try to watch some TV shows, and movies. So I've always had. I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't have celebrity crushes that you would have as a hall pass? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
For me, I got two. Brother Carter. My main two hall passes are Reese Witherspoon.
Good choice.
That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Reese and I'm keeping this more the movie route instead of wrestling because that's just too easy to choose. So, I mean, we could spend a whole segment on just like celebrity crushes and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have to think about it though.
Right. For me, it's Reese Witherspoon and Kristen Stewart.
Oh, okay.
That's my main two.
Oh, yes. I don't actually like. I am not averse in pop culture at all. So like, I have no idea what's going on with anybody. So I wouldn't even be the first person to tell you. But those are both good choices. I approve of both of those choices. Well done.
Yes, lots of work with there. Yes. All right, next question. Let's see what he has here. Oh man, this is one. Who has more wrestling ability at this point, Ronda Rousey or Jade Cargill, and which is more entertaining?
I mean, it's Rousey because I think she's the most fluid in the ring. The best thing that Jade Cargill has going for her is her looks because. My God, when she came out on NXT this week, I was like, whoa, this is a game changer. A real game changer, not a Tony Khan game changer.
Yeah.
No, like I was like, holy yowie, wowie. That was tremendous. My God. My apologies to my significant other if she's listening to this, but my God. But besides, and we'll get into this when we get into the segment, Josh, but besides that, what else does she do? Rousey at least is and I know we'll get into this when we get into this in WWE and people are poo-pooing this. I think Rousey is one of the most fluid wrestlers. I think she's incredibly fluid. I don't know if she knows how to work with, and I definitely want to get your thoughts on this too. If she knows how to work with folks that aren't quite at the level of like a Becky and a Charlotte, and like if she can actually be a trainer in a match. I don't know the answer to that. But I'm going to give the edge to Rousey just because I think she's one of the most fluid female wrestlers I've ever seen. But that's just me.
Oh man, and again, a lot of this is subjective, so this is not a right or wrong approach here. I mean, I'm not gonna come on here and insult both of them on their wrestling ability. I just think it's be ignorant. Anybody who's willing to put their body on the line has some skill to a certain extent. I'm not gonna go all the way and say somebody's just also trash and worthless. Maybe we have it for comedic purposes, and what the hell's wrong with AEW?
Right, you're right.
I do agree with you. I think from a wrestling standpoint, Ronda has the advantage, and she has advantage because of her background and her judo and Olympic style wrestling. I think Jade is more entertaining just due to the fact of her promos and just it factor. I mean, again, it's very few pickings for a card that we can pick out. Like, okay, that is somebody to look up for. That's a star. It's very few for the AEW roster where you can pinpoint like, okay, that is the reason why you should watch the show and not change your channel or pull your eyes out. As far as Ronda's concerned, look, I saw the whole Fire Ronda hashtag on Twitter the other day. I thought that was fucking stupid. To be honest with you, it makes you look stupid and a mark. To be honest with you, and look, she doesn't have to be your cup of tea, but I look at Ronda Rousey and facts are facts. She's an attraction, and when you have a person like that of her stature and her nature, normally wrestling fans these days are going to put on upteen expectations that either they can't live up to, or it's like hate watching. It's like like Roman Reigns when he started getting his like big push and stuff, the whole big dog stuff. When you get to that point in wrestling Twitter, and if you're not the flavor month of them, or if you don't come from the indies and you don't have that background, those people on Twitter are going to look through all their matches with rose-colored glasses and try to find reasons to nitpick and bitch about what she could or cannot do. Look, she had a really good match with Raquel Rodriguez a few months ago on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. To say that Ronda's incompetent at what she's doing and all this extra stuff is just wasted breath, to be honest with you. And it's just admit it, you don't like the chick because she has different opinions than you. Just admit you don't like her because she's not in the wrestling bubble. Just say that.
And if that's what you feel, fine. But like you said, Josh, you got to call a spade a spade. If you just say like she doesn't belong and she's not who I cheer for, okay, fine. But to insult their, and really this goes for any performer, to insult them as people and as people who are, trying to put on a product. Again, we do that because that's our job here on the Hoots podcast, but it's never an attack on who they are as people and as human beings or anything like that, So I don't get it either. I really think Ronda's got a ton of, she is a star, no doubt about it. So maybe she just had a bad match. I don't know, but it just, we'll see.
Let's see what we got here next from Mike. He says, who is someone from NXT Level Up that we should be watching to make the leap to the weekly NXT matches? There's an NXT Level Up show. But Carter, I feel like as the weeks go by, I feel like there's a new show that I have to cover each week. It's getting a little much, to be honest with you.
I bet.
I love wrestling just as much as anybody, but I don't even know how I have enough time to type out the stuff I do.
I don't blame you. Oof.
There's a couple. There's a chick that's made her debut over the last couple weeks. Jakara Jackson has an interesting look. She has kind of a it factor to her, kind of like Jade Cargill. I'd probably say there's another guy named Miles Bourne, who's actually partially deaf. He grew up partially deaf. He's pretty talented in the ring. I like the work I see from him. outside that, I mean, there's a couple of exceptions like Sol Ruka and Kiana James, but more times than not, you're probably seeing them on the NXT shows weekly as it is. So there's really a lot of young PC talent, Brother Carter, that are featured on NXT each week. So again, NXT is not like a ripoff of Ring of Honor like it was a couple years ago with the black and gold. Mm-hmm. So it's a different field now.
Awesome.
That's how I answered that question. Next one here. Speaking of leveling up, what can here we go. What can Astro fans expect to see for new signing Jose Abreu? Oh. Well, you can see a lot of strikeouts at the dirt. I can say that. I'm not gonna be bitter. I'm not gonna be petty. Okay. I think I should be disciplined and be above that. Mm-hmm. I think we as a
take the high road. Take the high road, Josh.
I have no love for Houston Astros. I don't. So the fact that one of my favorite White Sox players got signed there just leaves an empty pit in my stomach. That I'm not happy about it, Brother Carter. I'll be honest with you.
At the end of the day, Josh, it's about the almighty dollar. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. But here's the deal, man. You expect this guy's an underrated first baseman as far as defense is concerned. Very productive when it comes to RBIs. Is he going to hit 50 home runs? Probably not. But you got one of the best all-around hitters in baseball on your team, man. Why did he have to go?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, man. Damn it. Screw Houston. Sucks. Cheating bastards. All right. What one free agent or trade would you like to see the Chicago White Sox go after? Good question. I mean, is there anybody for the Dodgers that the White Sox could scoop up? I mean, holy shit. It's like every offseason, the Dodgers got this person. They got this person. It's like being a kid and having like, settings on MLB The Show or those video games or let's say Madden, like you take off the settings of unlimited cap space and you just grab anybody and make any trade you want, any sign you want. That's kind of like what it is with the Dodgers right now. And I really don't have one particular player that I want that I feel that's going to take them over the top right now. I really don't, but I'm open in free game to anybody. So. Do you even have a baseball team, Brother Carter?
No, I mean, if I had to pick one, it would be probably the Texas Rangers, just because I spent some time in Dallas.
Yeah,
but and that's really the city that I've spent the most time in that has a professional baseball team, because I spent some time down near New Orleans and they don't really have a professional ball club. I'm not a huge baseball fan, to be honest. Like, I don't mind watching it. I don't mind going to the ballpark and spending a day at the stadium. Like, that's always very cool. I like that. But like, I won't watch a baseball game on TV or anything like that. But if I had to pick a team, I'd pick the Texas Rangers.
Ooh, how about this one? What country would be your early favorite for the World Baseball Classic? Oh, where's it at?
Oh, Josh is looking.
I think it's in my bedroom. Never mind. I'm going with the native land. I'm going with Puerto Rico.
There you go.
I'm going with my home country. By the way, Puerto Rico, I know it's a U.S. property, before people have to be all technical and smart. But it's still a country.
Of course.
It should be a country. U.S. does next to nothing for Puerto Rico or Puerto Ricans in general. And I'm going to go with Puerto Rico because why the hell not?
I like it.
I got to go with my people, bro.
Hey, listen, Josh, viva, viva Puerto Rico. Absolutely.
How about this one? Who do you think will win the World Cup next month?
Canada. Oh, wait. No, they suck. Hey, listen. I got to watch Canada score its first goal ever in the World Cup. I watched that game. They scored
first goal ever.
That was their first goal. The goal they scored against Morocco, their first, whatever it was, that was their first goal ever. in World Cup competition. And they scored it a minute in, and I was like, oh, baby, here we go. And then they lost 4-1 and were eliminated. So, yeah, it didn't go well. But hey, it's all good. Boy.
I didn't even know they were even allowed to play soccer up there.
Well, you can only practice 3 months out of the year because of the weather conditions up there. Yeah, no, I don't know. Is England still in it? I want to feel like they have a good club.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not really into soccer, so I don't know who's where right now. To be honest with you, the only thing I've heard, honestly, the only thing I've heard about the World Cup is through the Pat McAfee show. That's it. I have not heard anything from it. Oh, I don't even know. I think USA is still in. I believe.
Yes. I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah, but let's go with USA if Mexico is eliminated or not. I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we're actually doing the World Cup in Qatar. I didn't know soccer was.
It doesn't feel right. Well, and actually, FIFA has come under a lot of criticism for this, just because of when they put it there, just kind of treatment of the athletes, just kind of what's going on in that part of the world right now. Yeah, FIFA's come under a lot of scrutiny for this decision, and I'll be very happy when it's so. Actually, the United States is partially hosting World Cup in 2026, and it will be back in the summer. So there's going to be some games, kind of around. They're having some games in Canada, some games in the United States, and some games in Mexico in 2026. So it's going to be a very cool event. It'll be great to have it in the summer. I always like World Cup in the summer. We're definitely going to try to go to a game or two because I think that'd be cool. So, but yeah, they've come under a lot of fire, and quite frankly, rightfully so.
Now we go to American football. What is your Super Bowl matchup at this point?
Oh, boy. Oh, this is hard.
I know the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. The Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl.
Gosh, when they get bounced in the first round, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Oh, we're going to have a ton of fun with that. I still think the Bills are going to come out of the AFC. Oh, boy. I don't know.
Well, it looks like one of my early bets is not going to pay out this year.
Who's that?
The 49ers. But I should have an asterisk that because they're putting all their eggs in their basket and Trey Lance that he got injured, and then they're doing it kind of like by how you say like they're doing in spite of the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo is still around, So like I get it, they traded for Christian McCaffrey and their defense is the real deal, but I don't know, something inside me still does not buy into the 49ers.
It's I don't know, man. Like on paper, the 49ers look unstoppable. I mean, look at their offense. It's just unbelievable. And their defense isn't bad. So but Jimmy G take them there? If you put someone like a Lamar or a Tua or a Pat Mahomes with them, I mean, it's over. But so I don't know. And Josh, I mean, like, Jalen Hurts is the real deal. Like, let's be honest. Jalen Hurts is legit. But who have the Eagles beat?
Exactly. Not only that, look how they looked in the playoffs last year in Tampa Bay.
I know. In a one-game series, can you really trust the Eagles to come out of the NFC?
Are we going to go with Kirk family member?
Boy, I don't. I mean, the only chance that they've got is because they've got wide receiver who is he's on an all other level, man. Justin Jefferson is on a whole other level. And I mean, they've got Dalvin Cook. They've got some weapons. I hate to say this too, Josh, but don't count out TB12 in playoff time.
Oh, I'm not. I'll tell you this: it's going to be the Bills and the Bucks in the Super Bowl.
That was my prediction at the beginning of the year. You go back and watch the Hoots podcast. I said Bills Bucks in the beginning. I've got to stand by that because I just don't know if the Eagles are for real. The Vikings, can you trust Kirk Cousins? The 49ers, can you trust Jimmy G? It goes back. It's TB12. If he peaks at the right time, they've got the parts to make it work. I don't know, man.
Is such a dumpster fire. Oh man! All right, let's go to the next question. That's a good one, Mike. What is the show you can watch for instant laughs no matter what mood you're in? He says his is Family Guy.
Probably the first one that comes to mind means The Simpsons. With old school Simpsons is one. How I Met Your Mother. I can always watch How I Met Your Mother for sure. What else? Sorry, Seinfeld. That's my number one. My number one is Seinfeld. Yeah, number one is Seinfeld for me.
Number one, without a bullet, it's How I Met Your Mother. Number two for me, I'll go with That 70s Show. That was just a big show for me growing up as a kid. Let's see. And then I'd probably go with Martin or Martin or Everybody Loves Raymond. I love that show.
I never watched Martin or Everybody Loves Raymond. I never got into those.
Hey, I just think about it. Like Ray Romando's character was a writer. He was a journalist.
It was like you, brother Adam.
Yes.
They need to give you a show. Dude, well, if we're being honest, they should give What the Hell is Wrong with AEW a show. Like, let's be, we can make a sitcom out of that every week.
True.
Maybe that's what AEW is going for. Maybe AEW is trying to be a sitcom. I don't know, because it sure as hell ain't a pro wrestling show. I'll tell you that.
It's a cosplay pro wrestling show. That's what it is. Like we got to knock on wood for brother Adam to hopefully get married one day. So knock on wood.
I believe in you, brother Adam. Any woman would be lucky to have you.
Yes. All right. Let's go to the next question. Have you seen the Spotify concert / Instagram thing where it takes your stream music and creates a festival poster? In any case, if your music preferences were a musical festival, who would headline each day in a 3-day festival? Oh man. Wow. You know what he's talking about, right? You see on social media, like the Spotify warp things or whatever they're called.
Yeah, they take the kind of who you've been listening to, and like it's a cool concept. I don't really listen to a lot of Spotify, but I've seen it on social media. Yeah. I can tell you one for me, and an artist that has really kind of risen up my charts over the last year or so has been Jacob Collier. Do you know who this is, Josh?
Yeah, it's very talented.
Yeah, I love Jacob Collier and just the way he talks about music, the way he thinks about music. Just it's fascinating to me, just the way he does it and everything he can do with the virtual choir or the choirs, the audience choirs and stuff. I think it's just fantastic. So for me, I got Jacob Collier at the top of my list right now. Golly, I don't know if I could do it other 2 days right now. That's a hard question.
Well, that's depends too. Is this for current performers or past people or people that passed on? Because like. If we're doing for past performers, it'd be easy. Eagles for me, Michael Jackson and the Beatles, and then the Beatles could add their solo songs into it as well if they wanted to add to like picture like a Beatles set, and then you got John Lennon doing Imagine, Woman, My Beautiful Boy. Just a lot of those classics. Paul McCartney stuff as well. So you can do a lot of those. Hell, you can even have a rap one. One day, NWA. The next is Tupac, and then for me, I wrap it up with Biggie, and then my pick is gonna be a little different. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Okay. So for me, I'm gonna go with They want to go with Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Taylor Swift. I think over the last couple years, especially her like folklore and like more of her like folk style music is really I really grown to appreciate her musicianship and her skills as well as a performer. So I've really grown to respect Taylor Swift's music. So I have her one. Second is Morgan Wallen for country music.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, Morgan Wallen's one of my favorite country performers. And then 3, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go either Snow Patrol or Bon Iver. Probably be my third one.
Good choice on Snow Patrol. I like them. I like Snow Patrol too. I forgot about them, but yeah, they're great. Yeah, no. I'll tell you another one, Josh. If you can get rid of all of the just stuff, I think Lady Gaga is an incredible artist. I really do. If you can just get rid of all the the goofy stuff that she does and just boil her down as a singer and songwriter, she is an incredible musician. So I'd throw her in there too.
Right. There's so many great performers you get picked out of. I don't know if anybody's gonna be picking Kanye West these days. Guy's a fucking Nimrod. What an embarrassment! What an embarrassment to the city, man.
Didn't he lose like $1 billion in a day or something like that because of his stuff that he said? I want to say because like all these people dropped him.
Yes, all the sponsors he has are not good.
You dummy.
Yes. All right, let's go to the next one. Do you meditate or use any stress-reducing apps like Balance or Calm? Any advice for focusing on meditation? He says he's having trouble getting focused.
I love the Calm app. I've got a lifetime subscription to it. I think I use it to help me go to sleep at night. The daily Calm that they put out every day is great. There are sleep stories. There are whatever you need to kind of help you unwind. I am a huge advocate of the Calm app. I would recommend everybody gets that. I think it's terrific.
I don't have any personal apps for that, but I do. I said it before. My routine before I go to sleep is I listen to at least about 90 minutes of music that's kind of slowed down a little bit. Mm-hmm. They have a great thing on music where you can pick particular songs and then they add like a rain effect sound to it. A little fun story. You remember those machines where like it'll make rain noises and you put it like on the nightstand, it helps you fall asleep a little bit.
I use that with my phone literally every night.
I had one of those as a kid, and
that's
been one of the things that kept me ever since I was a kid. Is that I like listening to music that helps me like calm myself down. Like talk about Snow Patrol. I listen to New York. Their song New York every night. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, very cool.
It's one of my favorite rock songs of all time. It's definitely one of the best ballad songs of all time that I ever heard. Shout out to the Swell Season as well. Glenn Hansard, very talented performer. I listen to a lot of his music too. But even like I was mentioning earlier with the Taylor Swift stuff, like I'll pull up some of her old songs and they have like the like rain effect attached. If you have a time, check out the song called two of them. Check out August and Illicit Affairs by Taylor Swift. They have a rain effect sound to it. Listen, it's really, really good from a musical standpoint. So
no, I'll check that out. So I'm a video gamer. I think I mentioned that before too. And there's Breath of the Wild. There's a Zelda game for Nintendo Switch, Breath of the Wild. There's occasionally where there's rain, like where you're going along and there's rain. And when you put the music, somebody put it like an hour of Breath of the Wild music, which is the main tracks of the game underneath the rain sound effect. It's very calming. So that's really cool too.
Nice. All right, let's get to the next one here.
We probably got to rapid fire through.
We got 3
here.
more.
Great.
We got 3 more. Yep. Which one would you rather watch, the Cocaine Bear movie or the new Casey Anthony documentary on Peacock?
I don't know what either of those things are.
1, I don't know who Casey Anthony is. 2, I've heard about this. So I guess this is a movie that had Ray Liotta before he passed away, where he's smuggling cocaine through a bear preserve, I think, something like that. I could be wrong. I didn't watch a trailer or anything, but this is something that everybody's talking about on social media and stuff. I don't know. I probably go. I'll probably go with the Cocaine Bear just by the title of it. I don't know who Casey Anthony is, to be honest with you. By the way, everybody on Twitter today is like ratting out like two people that are on the morning show or whatever they call it, the Today Show. So I guess one of the anchors and another anchor were in an affair with each other recently, and it became public. Mama mia. If they did a documentary on that, that'd be pretty wild, right?
Wait. I ain't touching that one with a 40-foot pole. Oof.
Yes. All right, let's go to the next one here. What is the most foolish financial decision you have ever made and why?
Oh, wow. Probably the Sleep Number bed that I bought.
Okay.
It's a nice bed, don't get me wrong, and I've had it for almost 10 years, about 9 years now. I paid way too much for it, and it's a pain in the butt to move. And now looking back on it, I'm like, okay, no, it's just after my move here, when I leave the great state of Colorado, I'm throwing that bed in the trash and starting over. That was a pretty penny, I'll just say that, and it didn't really get the sleep effects that I was looking for. So probably purchasing a really overpriced bed. I mean, really overpriced.
You fell for the okie doke, huh?
I certainly did.
Does it? Oh, should I?
Go ahead.
Who's on this?
You're sure? Well, I probably said it.
Let's do it. Does my trip to Oviedo in 2019 count?
I figured that's the route you were gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah. $600 to meet chick's parents. That
girl is whack, dude.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. I don't have to explain why we told this story before, but yeah, that's definitely out there for me. Outside of that, if I would call myself cheap like Mick Foley, but probably like I'd probably say the worst purchase I ever bought is probably like bad like cords for to charge my phone or whatever. They were like Fugazi, but outside of that, nothing really seriously. I mean, I have no major regrets of big purchases because when I make big purchases, like material stuff, like I'm very cognizant of what I want to get and the good stuff. So that trip was what it was. It gave me the best life lesson I ever needed, and you can see the person you are today. So I'm very grateful for that. That is the most decision I ever made. Let's go to the last question of the show. What is your favorite gimmick match type in wrestling history?
Ooh, for me, it's a ladder match. I've always loved the ladder match. I think it's just incredible what they can do with that. Yeah, I'm going to go with the ladder match. And you know what? And I'll throw War Games in there too because I love War Games. Okay. So those are my two.
Me is either the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber.
Royal Rumble. Yeah, good choice.
Yes.
Both excellent choices.
Elimination Chamber are definitely my favorites to play video game wise. I mean, who wouldn't love to play Elimination Chamber match on WWE?
Be awesome.
Just cause sheer utter chaos. All right.
Oh no.
Shout out to Chris and Mike for some awesome questions this week. That is our wrap up for the Good Bros. My bad, the Back Porch Q&A session.
Back Porch Q&A. And as always, if you would like to submit a question to the Back Porch Q&A, definitely hit us up on social media, or you can send it to the hootspodcast@gmail.com, and we will definitely get your questions on the air each and every week.
All right, folks, let's get into what happened this week in WWE, as Michael Cole would say. Brother Carter, we're going to briefly go over Survivor Series since you didn't get to see the whole show, and then we'll get to what I was mentioned earlier with the Bloodline stuff because that's very important.
Let's do it.
really quick, is there anything from what you saw from SmackDown and Raw that either perked your eye or something that you want to bring to attention?
Yeah, just real quick, just a couple things, looking back on Raw this week. I love what Becky Lynch is doing. Great to see her back, and I like to get her interaction with the fans. I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. There was actually a backstage brawl that made sense. Oh my God, what a concept! A backstage brawl on a wrestling show that makes sense. Oh my God. Of course, the promo with the Bloodline and Sami and Kevin Owens, I thought that was just tremendous. And I want to get your thoughts on this too, Josh. We'll get into this too. It seems like the OC and Judgment Day have been feuding for a real long time, and I don't know if that's things starting to run its course or we might need to move on to different things. And there's still Rey Mysterio. By the way, that video of Rey and of Dominic and Rhea, that was awesome. That was great stuff. If you haven't seen that, when they went to Rey Mysterio's house for Thanksgiving, that was great. Definitely go check that out. So yeah, those are just a couple things. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on if the Judgment Day and OC stuff is run its course and it's time for them to move on to something else. But so those are just a few things to me. Also, congratulations to Dexter Lumis getting a contract and being a full-fledged member of the roster. That's great. Oh, sorry. One other thing. I'm so sorry. Miz taking the money back from that kid on Raw. That was hilarious. That was great.
What a heel. What a heel.
Oh, he's tremendous. That was great. That's just from Raw for me this week.
As far as the OC and Judgment Day thing is concerned, I think the wrinkle of having Mia Yim maybe for me is not got me to the point where I feel like it's overstayed its welcome. Now, if she wasn't a factor and we're still doing these trios and 8-man tags, so I can see that. But I think that you wanted to bring OC and those guys back and Mia Yim back in a good fashion in a good way. Like I'll give the props. I mean, for her and Rhea to have the first almost 50 minutes of Raw on Monday was a really nice chance to maximize your TV time. And I thought Mia had a really good performance, not only in that, but also her performance in War Games as well. So I thought that was cool. There's going to be some things that get in the way of the OC now because Carl Anderson is still technically a reigning champion in New Japan, and he's defending his title on December 14th. So be on the lookout in the next couple of weeks if you don't see the Good Brothers there in person. Who knows? Maybe next week, Judgment Day do an injury angle, and they write the Good Brothers off of TV and stuff like that. You can see something like that. But as long as it's not extending towards WrestleMania, I think we'll be in good hands. That's how I look at it that way. But other stuff, I agree with you. The promo with Sami KO was pretty funny. KO's like, I'm just done. I want nothing to do with you. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to tag with you. I don't want to fight you. What I love about Sami, you could explain this to me because you're Canadian. You can relate to this. Like when Sammy's trying to make a point, he always adds do you understand me? He always adds that extra. I don't know if that's just a Canadian thing, but
no, because Owens is Canadian too, and he doesn't do that. Yeah. So it's just I think that's just one of the Zayn isms.
I guess I just think with those two, they're always particular when they're making a point. They always end it with a question. It's okay, or you understand me. It's just funny. It's not bad. It's again big pop when Sami does. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. Loving the stuff with Austin Theory.
Yeah. Oh yes.
There's some good stuff there too.
Great to see the Street Profits back as well.
Yes, very nice to see that. Shush, please. Shush. And then I may be in the minority, but I've been kind of digging the stuff with Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. I was like, oh, I can't believe Bray Wyatt has lowered himself to fight LA Knight in the mid-card. You really think Bray Wyatt's going to take the title off of Roman Reigns off the bat?
I was going to say, okay, you don't want him facing LA Knight. Put him with somebody then. Go ahead. Tell me, who are you going to put him with then? Why not LA Knight? And what has LA Knight done to deserve this, to not deserve the opportunity to work with Bray Wyatt.
Right.
Like, LA Knight is tremendous.
Yeah, everybody's complaining about him being a agent for male models, but now he's back to being something that's not even good enough for them.
By the way, I will say though, I kind of miss Masse and Mansoir. That was pretty.
Hey, you might miss them. I miss Maxine on my team.
Well, that's true. I miss Maxine Dupree.
Maxine Dupree.
Yes. They need to bring them back. I think. I don't know. We'll see. But
those runway shows they were doing were pretty fun.
Oh, that was great. But no, I'm intrigued by this Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. I'll be curious to see if Bray, when he really embraces the dark side, kind of where they go with that.
Yeah.
But it'll be good to see him in the ring again too. I can you hold off till Royal Rumble to do a match between them?
Possibly. The biggest thing for me is I think they're gonna have to do the reveal of whoever Uncle Howdy is, either on the last SmackDown of the year or the first one of 2023, because we gotta figure out where that's going. Can't have him coming out every single week,
right,
crying and feeling sorry for himself if we're not gonna see who this guy is. He's just popping up on the TV screen, right? So outside of that, I think we touched the bases we need to touch there. What did you see for Survivor Series, and what's your thoughts on what's going on right now as we're about to wrap up 2023?
I got a chance to watch some of the highlights, and for me, of course, and I know it's the obvious thing, but the main thing was the men's match at the very, very end, and kind of Sami being fully accepted by the Bloodline. This has been one of the best storylines. This has probably been the best storyline, of course, of the Triple H regime. It's just been tremendous. Sami Zayn is he's kind of like my. I mean, your MVP is obviously Roman Reigns, but like if you want to give a most improved award or somebody who has jumped the furthest ahead on the card, that's got to be Sami Zayn. It's got to be Sami Zayn what he's done. Don't be surprised if sometimes in 2023, Josh, he gets a world title. He deserves, because he's never had a WWE world title, I don't think. So I think that man deserves it. So, but yeah, for me, just the whole stuff with what happened with the Bloodline, and we'll talk about the Bloodline here in a second, because I want to get your thoughts on that too. But for me, I think that was obviously the best part of the show. And I didn't get to see a lot of it, unfortunately. But what I did get to see, I was just really excited to see what they did with that storytelling at the end.
Tribal Chief, man, he don't miss. He does not miss. I think for me, like I said earlier, I feel like Survivor Series was probably the most complete pay-per-view I've seen for a show that happened in the U.S. because Clash of the Castle was a very good show. Crown Jewel is another good pay-per-view. But I feel like the show was just really good for top dollar. The women's War Games match was really, really physical. I thought it was a really nice showing for Dakota Kai, making her stand out. They really make it like a point of emphasis of her being like the MVP of those style of matches, and she was the first one in there. She was in there for the longest time. Becky win the match through a leg drop off the top of the cage was pretty sweet.
Yep.
Becky's looking, speaking of waterfall, Becky's looking phenomenal as always. I think we got kind of a tea leaf from Raw this week. I don't know if you saw this, but kind of an inkling of what's going to happen next for Bianca, because they're having a backstage interview and they had the Bray Wyatt symbol flash in the background for Lexi Bliss.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, for Lexi Bliss. Yes, I'm looking over at my smart speaker right now. Yes, thank you for that, Josh. I appreciate that. +1 on your performance evaluation. No.
So I think we're kind of going to hit that. Maybe Lexi will fight.
I think if you say it, it's okay. If I say it, it could be a problem.
Okay. Well, I have a feeling that possibly Bliss will fight Bianca at the Royal Rumble for Raw Women's Championship. So that's what I was thinking.
And do we start to see her start to go to that more darker character? Well, and I think that makes sense because now that Becky Lynch is back as a face, if you want to get somebody healed to kind of even out kind of the faces and heels, that would be a good way to do it.
Well, I mean, Becky was already brawling in the freaking crowd concession stand area with Bayley, so I think she's already preoccupied.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm all about Bliss returning to the Fiend character. I think that's been her best character of her time in the company, and she does such a great job portraying that character. So I would love to see that.
I thought the Finn Balor AJ Styles match was really good. Probably didn't get enough praise that I think it deserves. I think it's probably bad placing. You know, it's kind of unfortunate following a match that goes for 45 minutes. Yeah, I get the match probably started off slow, but that's a lot of the time, those are by design. And I know a lot of people complain about long video packages and stuff like that during the pay-per-view, but I think WWE does that by design to let people simmer down. So they can, like, you know, have those juices flowing for the next match. And also, I give Triple H credit, you know, having these pay-per-views, premium live events for their 5 or 6 matches at maximum. I think it's a good thing because you're getting some really high quality pay-per-view matches. Like I mentioned the 3-way earlier, which was my favorite match of the show. I thought that was fantastic. But this match too with Finn and AJ was tremendous.
Oh, sure. Anytime you put 2 professionals on that level together, it's magic, I'm sure.
Yeah. The good thing, you know, usually you expect if this match was in AEW, you would have the interference and the afterbirth brawls all over the place. They had a brawl, but both those teams went to the backstage area, kind of like how you're supposed to do it.
A brawl that made sense.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
And everybody pops for when Dominic gets the beats. So that's
of course. Yeah. Josh, he is really starting to come into his own as a heel. You know, we talked about this before in this, Josh. It doesn't matter if you're getting heat from the crowd, then that's a good thing. And like he's playing his heel character really well. This has actually been a great thing for Dominic Mysterio. I'm happy to see that he's starting to come into his own as a heel. I think he's been doing terrific work lately.
I know a lot of people said the low point of the show is the women's match for Ronda and Shotzi, and I don't disagree, but I don't think the match is as bad as people are making it out to be. Yes, Ronda did not take a good DDT on the apron. This is real life. This stuff happens. I think those who are ragdolling her for that probably take a shittier DDT than she did if they're in that position. We're just being honest here.
Yeah. Well,
it's unfortunate. It just wasn't a good match pairing, and sometimes that happens on pay-per-view. But you know, it is what it is. As far as the main event's concerned, because we haven't talked about this yet,
we'll have to do that. Yeah.
For me, what I really loved about the War Games pay-per-view and what it was, I really felt like the first one was really good from an in-ring point of view and a lot of carnage and a lot of tables and stuff like that. But this is what separates WWE from other promotions. The second one on the show was about the story and the case and how the sequences went, how it was supposed to go. And you watched that match. I was covering the pay-per-view live, and I didn't have to pause a lot. I always say this. I can always tell a match is really good or even top tier where I'm not pausing a lot, where I can like process what I'm seeing as it's going on and let the flow of the match come to me as I'm transcribing it. And it just that match in general is just phenomenal from top to bottom. I thought everybody looked good into it. Pete Dunne, Butch, whatever you want to call him, he was really good in that match. Sheamus, they had this spot in the middle of the cage where everybody's doing the
Yep.
I thought that was awesome.
Great.
Even to like the entrance of the Bloodline, all of them together at the same spot on the cage, on top of the stage. It was really, really cool. It's just that aura, man, when the Tribal Chief comes out, like that entrance, all that, that's just phenomenal. It's the best act in the industry. It's not close.
No, it's not close. Do you buy into anything with I'm sure you've heard the reports that Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns have some backstage heat with each other now because of an unplanned spot. Do you buy anything into that, or is it just one of those things that happens?
It's probably one of those things that happens. I did see that. I'm not a frequent observer, if you will, of rumor and innuendo, but I'm not a connoisseur of that type of stuff. But that was the talk point. I did see a lot of people were talking about it on Twitter. hey, shit happens, maybe heat of the moment. I guess they said that there was more lingering issues that they kind of like settled it down a little bit, but I can see that happening. Stuff happens. It really does.
Well, it's like in a football game when teammates are upset with each other because things aren't going well, or he dropped an obvious play or whatever it was, teammates get mad at each other. And Owens and Reigns, I think, are such professionals that they'll, if they need to go beat each other up in the parking lot for 10 minutes and get it all out of their systems and then go back to shake each other's hands and then go back to work, it's fine.
Plus, I don't think that KO is the type of person that think like, oh, I know how I'm going to get the title off Roman Reigns. I'm going to really hurt him. Like,
right.
No.
Right. I mean, Owens is one of Triple H's guys. Reigns is obviously the guy. So I think it was an incident that occurred. They can yell at each other backstage, get it all out of their systems, and then it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the March series. Let's wrap it up with this.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we got our main event segment. Everybody's waiting for best segment of all podcasts.
I can't wait.
So here's the deal. We got a lot of questions about this.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? Who's Roman's going to fight at the Royal Rumble? Who's Roman going to fight at WrestleMania?
Yep.
I have one question to everybody.
Please.
Why do we need to end the Bloodline now? Why do we need to end Roman Reigns' title reign at WrestleMania? Why do we need to have all those answers right now? That's my question to everybody as you're watching and listening to this. Why are you in a rush to end this group? Because y'all going to be clamoring for them. When they split up, whenever that happens or whatever it looks like, people are going to clamor for that group to be what it was.
It's you could make an argument, Josh. They're one of the best factions of all time. Yeah. I mean, think about it. You've got the three longest reigning champions in WWE history are in one group. Like, think about that. It's unbelievable. And it's a natural. The group came together in an organic and natural way because they're literally all related. So it just makes sense. So like you said, why do you need to break it up now? And why not let Sami have a little run with them getting into 2023? It's like you said, why do you need to end it? If it's working, as they say, Josh, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. Not only that, but why are these questions coming out now when these scenarios pop up? They'll see people be like, "Oh my God, this was so predictable. Anybody could have saw this coming. Oh, we were calling the Usos. They were gonna turn on Sami Zayn. Anybody knew that was gonna happen. Why don't you let those moments happen?"
Well, because Josh,
go ahead.
I was just say these are probably the same people that are happy that Pockets is the All-American champion or the All-Atlantic champion. So,
hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got Doug Heffernan in Pockets tomorrow. We're all lucky.
We'll get to that here in a second, but no, it is interesting though. But I will say though, Josh, it is only natural for us as fans and as consumers of drama, of entertainment, to know what's going to happen next. That's why we tune in each new week, and it's fun to try to project where could the storyline go, in the future. And I don't think that's a bad thing to say, hey, let's try to figure out what's going next. But to say that we have to end it now, we have to do that. No, I agree with you. But it is fun to predict.
My bigger point is why we need the answers to those questions.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
the biggest thing because this, like MJF said last night, this audience is so fickle. They really are. They tell you they have this stance, they'll have the sake that they want this to happen, and then when it happens, it doesn't go up to their fancy bookie scenario of what it's supposed to look like. I know how all this is going to look like. And I've seen the tweets and I've listened to shows, and it's this like rising tide, if you will, of Sami Zayn better win the Royal Rumble or else. It's this Daniel Bryan-esque 2014 stuff all over again. And I'll be honest with you, Bro Carter, because this is right around the time I started doing stuff like this and I was becoming a broadcaster. Believe it or not, coming up in March is going to be my 10th year in broadcasting.
Wow, that's cool.
How fast time goes by,
That's cool, man. I like it.
And during that time period, this is a big deal. The whole Daniel Bryan, the road to WrestleMania and stuff like that. I'm glad the guy got his moment. I am. I'm glad
he deserved it.
He did deserve it. But don't tell me that wasn't the most forced push towards a championship that I ever seen in my life.
Well, I will say though that's WWE didn't have a choice because Daniel Bryan had gotten himself so over with the crowd that like WWE did not have a choice. Remember at Royal Rumble when he wasn't announced and they booed him they booed WWE out of the building that year?
Bunch of marks. But guess what? He lost to Bray Wyatt at the beginning of the show in a 30-minute match. Tell me how does not make Bray Wyatt look stupid. Okay, I can get my ass kicked for 30 minutes and lose, but I could miraculously wake up and have all the attachments of a superhero of a Superman to win a Royal Rumble match. Just think about it from a realistic standpoint.
Right. And guess what? It worked out fine. It worked out fine. So I will say this though, too, Josh, and I mentioned Sami Zayn earlier. I don't think Sami Zayn has to win the Royal Rumble. I say that that's just an option. If it's a route you could go for storylines. Now, is it kind of like an easy out? Yeah. And like I said, I still think Cody Rhodes is going to win the Royal Rumble if he's healthy. That's the asterisk to that as well. Yeah. Another theory I've heard thrown around is that Sami Zayn is eventually going to ally himself with The Rock, and The Rock actually planted Sami Zayn or Solo Sikoa as well in the bloodline. I've seen that one too. Sorry. Rock's has planted Solo or something like that, where there's going to be a Rock Solo alliance or something like that. Why don't we just sit back, enjoy the shows, and see what happens?
I think there's leaving a lot of money on the table by having Roman and Sami as a match in WrestleMania. I'm just speaking for me, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think you're gonna get more bang for your buck having Kevin and Sami fight the Usos, and probably the biggest profile match that the tag titles have ever been in a long time.
Right.
Having those guys against the Usos, they'll deliver. It'll be a big semi-final main event of the show or whatever night it's going to be on. Mm-hmm. And I think when it comes to Roman, and again, I like Sami as a performer, but I do not see Sami as a world champion. If you look at what Roman Reigns has done in this time reign and who he's had to fight and fight over the odds to remain champion, Drew McIntyre, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't see Sami at that point. I can't buy that a Haluva kick is going to put away Roman Reigns. I can't buy that a Blue Thunder Bomb that everybody kicks out of is going to end Roman Reigns. Unless he channels something that happened in his match with Shinsuke Nakamura at that takeover in Dallas, I just don't see it as a champion.
Then to that argument, you can say, well, then is Cody Rhodes in the same boat? Because do you really think a Cody cutter is going to take down Roman Reigns? I mean,
I can see a crossroads.
Yeah, maybe. But and again, I think Cody Rhodes should be the one to take the title off Roman Reigns. I'm just playing devil's advocate here to your argument on that. Like you say that about Zayn, you could say that about almost anybody. So it's like if he got past Brock Lesnar, so by that argument, you say, well, he got past Brock Lesnar. Who could possibly take him down? Right. So
that's the thing. Roman doesn't have to lose the title at WrestleMania.
I don't think he does.
What about this scenario? Let's say that KO fights Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble and KO wins.
Wow.
KO fights Sami Zayn in Montreal for the title. Let's say Roman does lose the title, right? Let's say that happens. Who says that Kevin Owens walks into WrestleMania as the champion and he fights somebody? Who knows? Going back to what I said earlier, who says like KO wins and it's Seth Rollins fights KO at WrestleMania?
I'm all about that. I think that'd be great. That'd be great.
I'm in agreement with you. I don't think Roman and The Rock needs to be for the Universal Championship. No. I do not agree with that. But my concern when it comes to Cody is the fickleness. Mm-hmm. Because we ride this rave. We saw his performance at Hell in the Cell, and everybody's like, okay, Cody comes back. He's the guy. He's the guy to go after the championship. I just have this feeling Cody comes back for a Royal Rumble. Let's say like the whole 30th anniversary of Raw. Cody comes back, something like that, right?
Yep.
That crowd's gonna turn on him. I just see it. I don't trust this fan base, Brother Carter. And I hate saying that because I'm a wrestling fan too at the end of the day. I'm not above anybody. I don't think I'm above anybody when it comes to doing stuff like this. But I don't trust this fan base. I've seen it too many times of stuff like this, of performance like that don't deserve fickleness, but that's what's going to happen.
Sure.
I would hate to see that happen.
I guess and I know we have to move on to our main event segment here, but my last question to you is this. Does the moment of Roman losing the title, is that something that has to happen at a WrestleMania just because of how unbelievable, like an over 2-year reign of a championship ends? Does that have to happen at a WrestleMania?
No.
Okay.
No. That's why I said, like, I would not be surprised if Roman lost the title at the Royal Rumble. I would not. Roman does not have to walk into WrestleMania as champion. That match, Rock and Roman Reigns, could sell on its own accord. It does not need to be a championship. Them fighting for who's the tribal chief of their family has nothing to do with that championship.
Right. Okay.
So
fair enough. Good stuff.
Good
Josh, that was good stuff, but it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. Are you ready, Josh? Are you ready? It is certainly time for the best segment in all of wrestling podcasting, a segment that I have not had a chance to do live in over a month, a chance that we have not had a chance to do in over a month. It is the question that you ask yourself, that I ask myself every single week. What the hell is wrong with AEW? And we're going to get this bad boy started in a 3, a 2, a 1.
Beat your meat, 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 beat your meat.
Howdy, everybody. Oh, hey there.
A special.
Whoa, what is that?
What is that?
What's going on? I'm sorry about that, Lisa. That's not me. Let's do this.
It's time for What the Hell is Wrong with AEW?
Coming soon to a t-shirt shop soon to you.
Oh, wow. Josh, besides the initial creation of What the Hell is Wrong with AEW, this might be the best moment of What the Hell is Wrong with AEW since its initial creation. Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, Josh, as always, it is time to ask ourselves the burning question: what the hell is wrong with AEW? AKA, what isn't wrong with AEW? Okay, thank you. All right, let's do you want to start with the things we enjoyed this week? Let's do that before we get into this stuff. There was some good stuff about the show this week. I actually enjoyed the match with Bryan Danielson and Dax Harwood. I thought that was a good match. I think if he wanted to, Dax Harwood could make it as a single star. I think he's just excellent in the ring. So he needs a little tweaking with some of his individual character. So I thought that was great. What else? I love Daddy Ass. I thought that whole stuff, what he was doing backstage with the Acclaimed was great. And of course, MJF. But I want to talk about MJF separately here in just a little bit. Because I think that deserves its own talk before we get into the crap. So what did you like from last night's show, Josh?
The time that Excalibur said that we're going off the air. We'll see y'all next Friday.
Yeah, that was good.
I like Jade Cargill.
Oh yes, absolutely.
let's be specific here because there's stuff that we had to bash on. The entrance, Mamma Mia.
That outfit she was wearing with the monies. Oh my God.
Yes.
That was a 17 out of 10, man. She looked sensational last night. Oh my God. But like she has got the look to be a megastar. Like there is no question about it.
Yep.
She's got the look.
I guess we can start with this. I really like the Bryan Danielson Dax Harwood match.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, there's been a lot of matches recently that I have not been a fan of Bryan Danielson, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I think I said this before. I feel like he's been regressing to Bobby Fish territory.
I agree, man.
These are concerned. So I think a lot of credit deserves to go out to Dax for what he pulled out of Bryan. Again, the sucky part about it is when you see good stuff on the show, but you're just the inevitable is going to hit you in the face of what's going to happen. I see it all the time. Once NJF shows up, there's just a big downward slope of what goes down. And here's the thing: we could come here and send this whole segment just giving flowers to NJF and how he hoodwinked William Regal and everything in between. We'll talk about that, but. Bro, Carter, I mean, why is it that me and you had to struggle and grasp at trying to find 2 or 3 things we like on this fucking show every week? Why?
I don't know. Dude, as Stephen A says, be patient. Just wait. The downfall is coming.
Yes.
And it happens every week. So, okay, do we want to talk about MJF now or do we want to do that a little bit later? Okay.
Let's do it now.
Okay, let's do that now. So, Josh, I think that every Wednesday night should become MJF Appreciation Night. He is fucking brilliant. I know a lot of people are quick to jump to conclusions right away. And I said this a long time ago, and I'm sticking by this. I think when his career is over, MJF is going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. I really do. I think you know how I was thinking about this earlier today. You know how some people just have it. Sorry to put over Chris Jericho's getting the word it over, but MJF, like from an early age, I see a lot of like of a Randy Orton, like, you know, because Randy Orton from a very early age, you just knew he was going to be one of the greats of all time. And I see a lot of similarities to MJF in that regard, that just at a young age, gets the business, understands the business. I think it was just incredible. One of my favorite parts about the promo last night, Josh, was the fact that he said that the AEW title belt represents garbage. And let's think about who's held that title. Jericho, Olivier,
mid,
Moxley,
mid,
right, Hangman Adam Page,
mid.
Yeah, like what elite, and I use that term, what elite superstar has held the AEW world title? No, I'm sorry, Josh. He's not elite anymore. No, for those of you that didn't see it, Josh is throwing up the Punk sign. I'm sorry. At that media scrum, Punk officially became on the level of the elite. I'm sorry, but no. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, dude.
Blasphemy.
I'm telling you. No. Punk proved what I've been saying for the last 10 years about him. Anyways, that's another conversation for another time. This was, he was right about the belt. He was right about Eddie Kingston never being world champion. No doubt. I hope he's wrong about Ricky Starks, because I really do, because I think I see potential in Ricky Starks or Danielson. But and also I think this promo if there's criticism, I thought this promo started to run a little bit long and he started to ramble just a little bit. But overall,
it was going too long.
What's that?
You thought it was going too long?
It was going just a little bit too long, I think. But overall, Josh, this was freaking brilliant. What did you think?
I loved it, man. I loved every part of it. I think for me, and I think you can understand this from my point of view as I transcribe the show, it's so hard for me to, even for me as the fan that I try my best to be fair and give things the benefit of the doubt and something. I don't go into every AEW show thinking it's gonna be absolute ass. I have it in the back of my head because
yeah, right.
But for me, I want to see what if I could be proven wrong on certain things. So MJF could talk for an hour and I wouldn't give a shit because the rest of it is just pure doo-doo butter. fresh doo-doo butter. Like, hear the man speak for himself. Like, I'm pulling this up because people need to listen to what an actual worthwhile talent sounds like. Okay.
No one, and I mean no one, deserves to be recognized as world champion except for me. Not any of your overhyped, overrated pieces of trash you guys constantly push for. Fake tough guys like Eddie Kingston. Let's talk about the worst of the worst, the middest of the mid. Fake wrestlers like Bryan Danielson.
That right there was my favorite line of the show last night.
No.
In AEW, I'm not taking anything away from Daniel Bryan, but in AEW, Bryan Danielson is the middest of mid performers on TV today. Tell me I'm wrong.
What is he, since Bryan Danielson has joined AEW, what has he done of relevance in this company?
Nothing.
Give me what? And he was supposed to, again, Josh, he was a savior. He debuted the same night as Adam Cole, and everybody thought, oh, it's over for WWE. They got Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole. It's over. Yep. What has either of them done of any significance in this company?
Jack shit.
Correct. And now it looks like we're gonna get Danielson putting over MJF with fine, but mid. Okay, so Josh, here's another question for you. Going on the MJF thing, because I was thinking about this too. So obviously the right person is the champion. That's fine. Is there anybody in that company that you see as even remotely credible competition for MJF? Give me one person in that company that's remotely credible, anything on the level of MJF. Give me one. I can't.
I'm having a hard time myself.
I mean, Samoa Joe, maybe, but even he's regressed a little bit. I think one day he'll get there, but Starks isn't ready. Every big amount of talent that they've put in there has gone to complete waste.
Yeah.
Do you want to see Olivier versus MJF?
Hell no.
Oh,
hell no.
And here's what's going to happen, Josh. If they put Olivier with MJF, Olivier is going to win the world title.
Of course he is. Of course fucking Twinkle Toes will hold the title just to make Seltzer's jizz in his pants. Like, here's the funny thing. AEW is slumping so bad that even Seltzer is having complaints about this show.
Yes. Josh, the majority of what I read on social media, the majority of people are turning on this company. The only people that are left are like the diehards, jacking off to Olivier matches all the time because that's what they think is professional wrestling. But when this title reign ends for MJF, when it does, we're all going to look and go, that's who you put it on? Okay.
Yeah. You have a generational talent and you got Harpo McFingerfuck. Like,
right.
There's levels to this. Like MJF said last night, there's levels to this. So
it's ridiculous. Okay. Let's get into the shit, Josh, because, oh boy, is there a lot of shit. Okay. So can I ask you a question to start off the show?
Yes.
Great. Who exactly am I supposed to cheer for in Jon Moxley versus Adam Page?
Like I told you last night, don't cheer for them. Cheer for no blood.
Well, that's not going to happen. So, but what was this? So Moxley comes out, starts cutting his promo, which fine. I actually didn't think it was a bad promo.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, Paige, who, by the way, is not medically cleared, and they kept bringing up the fact that he wasn't, came out and got into a backstage brawl with Jon Moxley. How does that make sense?
That's a work. That's a work. Honestly, take everything that excrement says with a grain of salt. Literally, take everything he says as a grain of salt. Brother Carter, here's the question to you and everybody. What would go faster? A beat the clock challenge match or Jon Moxley and Hangman Page in a first blood match? What would happen first?
I don't know. That's tough, man. I'd probably say that, well, the blood match, it wouldn't take long. It would take longer. It would have taken Bob Backlund longer or Kevin Nash to win the world title from Bob Backlund than it did for Moxley and Hangman Page in a first blood match.
It would take Santino longer to be eliminated for the Rumble than that.
Oh, that's great. This was stupid to start the show, and I have no interest in this at all.
It sucks too because I love Hangman. I was happy to see him on the TV, but Moxley drags everybody down.
I will say at least they continued the brawl backstage, so it's a little more believable. Yeah. Fine. Okay.
Due diligence should not be given praise, but
okay. Speaking of people who get no praise, Josh, why does this company continue to let Jake Hager speak?
Oh, fuck.
Why does this company continue to let Wheeler Useless speak? Why does this company allow anybody in the Jericho Appreciation Society to say anything at all?
Yes.
I felt so bad for Claudio in this. Like, he's got to look at this and go, this is stupid. He has to know that this is stupid.
Yeah.
And are they going to you're really going to tell me that they're going to take the belt off of Jericho and now Claudio is going to be forced to be a sports entertainer?
The whole premise of the Jericho Appreciation is fucking stupid. They claim they want to be sports entertainers, but their whole fucking shtick is a cosplay of WWE when really they're making fun of WWE. That's the whole gist of it. That's the whole gist of this whole promotion.
Right.
That's all it is.
And really, Josh, I'll take it one step further. They were making fun of Vince McMahon's booking of WWE. Well, that's gone. And now Triple H is turning this thing around. So what's
your excuse now?
Yeah, right. And now, but Jericho is they're still going to the well with this. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. You see it on his face. I feel bad for him. Who the hell is going to buy Final Battle to watch him and Jericho in the main event? Who's going to buy that?
The diehard marks?
Oh, yeah. The 870,000 people they drew for Dynamite this week.
God. That pay-per-view is not going to get that many buys. Not even close.
No.
Oh, my God.
It was brutal. What else?
So that was brutal. Okay, so Josh, if you want to get a world title match, apparently all you have to do is sign with the company. And then you get a title match. I will say, as always, congratulations to AR Fox getting a contract. We're always happy to see people getting paid to be professional wrestlers. Congratulations to him. That's great. I don't see what him being with Samoa Joe helps anybody. Is there anybody in the last 10 years that has fallen worse than Wardlow?
It's hard to pick. It really is.
I mean, since he separated from MJF, that's more of a more props to MJF because anything he touches is complete gold. But what has Wardlow done of relevance since leaving MJF?
Nothing. Ever since Double or Nothing, it's been boom, 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 boom.
I don't give two flying fucks about Wardlow anymore, and I think the guy's full of potential, but
I feel bad for him. Like again, we got this week to week thing where we have to emphasize and dilute Dynamite by implementing all these elements of Ring of Honor that nobody gives a shit about. They don't care.
No. Absolutely not. It's just
you even listen to the audience and they don't even care. And by the way, props to Fox because I covered his work at Lucha Underground, and like you said, I'm happy for his success. But he's stuck in the middle of Dynamite, and nobody cared.
And then he's gonna, just like with the rest of them, he's gonna be relegated to Dark and Elevation, and we're supposed to. Okay. So apparently, Powerhouse Hobbs is a face for some reason now. All of a sudden, I don't quite. I don't understand that. Josh, I'm going to say 2 words for you, and I can't wait to get your reaction to this based upon what we saw on television. You ready?
Yeah.
Matt Hardy. Oh, my. Hardy comes out, does... For those of you that are watching or listening to this, Josh just put up the what the hell is wrong with AEW graphic with the Last Supper. He comes out, does the delete thing. The firm pushes him to the back. He's freaking useless. I hate him. I will say though, Josh, I have hope for Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page is getting better. Okay. And he may be able to work around the horrendous booking that has been thrown his way. By the way, Josh, where the hell is Dan Lambert? You were talking about Ethan Page.
Yeah.
They get rid of one of the best parts of television on America's Top Team and just throw him away. And Scorpio Sky, too. Throw him away. Like
common trash. Like, yeah.
I don't get it. So this was stupid. I'll say this, too. And I want to get your thoughts on this, too, because Ricky Starks needs to get as far away from AEW as possible.
Yeah.
As soon as his contract is up, he's got to go to NXT, and NXT needs to be smart enough to sign Ricky Starks, because I think Ricky Starks has all the potential in the world. I love Ricky Starks. He's been able to get past the bad booking. I want to see more of Ricky Starks every week. It's a shame that he's gonna, get. I hope for his sake that he has a good match with MJF at a couple weeks in winter is coming, but I don't know, man. What do you think about all the whole Ricky Starks thing?
Well, it's just another shining example that Tony Khan is the Mark Trestman of wrestling promoters. Look, I look at this whole situation, and just go back to the NGS stuff. How about what tells you what do you need to know about AEW for the fact that William Regal is about to go back to WWE soon?
Yep, and I can't wait. He's going to go back to where he belongs. WWE just basically, they handed AEW one of the greatest wrestling minds of all time. And AEW said, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're going to put him with the Blackpool Combat Club. That's what we're going to do.
The corniest faction in the last 5 years.
That's what we're going to do with one of the greatest wrestling minds of all time.
We know the whole deal. Yeah, MJF and Ricky Starks, they might have a decent match or whatever, and winter is coming, but who's good?
And then Danielson's going to match. And then Danielson's going to come down and beat him down, and then that feud starts.
Yeah, and then we got to wait another 3 months so they can have MJF and Danielson at Revolution.
Right.
Like, woohoo!
But that's fine, Josh, because you get different storylines on their show every single week. I don't know what storyline they're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Actually, I should say what storylines. We don't know if any storylines are going to even occur on AEW television every week.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. I see a lot of people online that think that Willow Nightingale is talented. I don't see it. I just don't see it. And if I'm wrong, please call me out. But I don't get Willow Nightingale.
There's really nothing to her character right now. I mean, I like what she does in the ring. I mean, she moves fine. I enjoyed the matches that she's had so far. Now, that's a low bar.
Right, for the women. Right.
Don't get me wrong. But I thought she was fine. But I was watching this match, and I'm like, Anna Jay is so above this January 6th appreciating shit. Like, she has, we're talking about Jade Cargill and like Bianca Belair and all those that have the it factor and the sex appeal and everything you ever want. And in-ring stuff too. I thought that's probably one of the best matches she had. Again, there's a low bar here when it comes to wrestling, at least in the women's division of AEW, but I just felt bad. It's like this was a Rampage match that overstood its welcome. And AEW has this philosophy and Impact and some of these other promotions. Look, I'm all for competitive matches just like anybody else, but it has to be worth the time. Nothing was on the line here. There's no number one contendership or eliminator aspect attached to it. I'm surprised there's not another tournament going on, Brett Cart. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, last night was really a bad night for the women's division.
Yep.
And, oh, great. We're going to have another Renee and Soraya sit-down interview on Rampage this week. Whoopity-doo. Guys, we get it. They're best friends. They probably butt-fuck each other. Cool. I don't give a fuck. We get the point. They're friends.
Right. And the game changer, Ruby Soho, is back. Whoop-de-doo.
It was nice to see her back, but...
Yeah, of course. But there's another one, Josh, that she has fallen so far since joining AEW. She had...
Yeah.
I don't care about, I hate to say it because I think she has a potential, but I don't care about Ruby Soho at all. And I hate to say that.
You want me to do my excrement impression?
Oh, yes, please. I haven't had a chance to see this live. Last thing, before you do that, Josh, I just like to say QT Marshall sucks. Orange Cassidy sucks. I don't care anything about their match that's coming up on Rampage. Go ahead.
Before we said that, again, yes, it's great to see Jade Cargill on my stream, but if this was the means to the end to see Sasha Banks come out do the bow wow, you're gonna hear another rant that you haven't heard yet. But let's do this. Let's take a swig of water. We're gonna do this properly.
Yeah, right? I'm gonna go grab a quick swig of water too here. But yes, go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, we're gonna do this as what's coming up down the pipeline for AEW and upcoming events. So I'm gonna wait till Brett Carter gets back in his seat.
No, I got my water, so let's do it. Here we go.
All right. Coming to you live on Friday on Rampage on TNT. We have the AEW All-Atlantic Championship match. It's Orange Cassidy taking on the Factory's QT Marshall. Behind that, we have Athena in action. Also, we got Darby Allin with Sting taking on the Factory's Cole Carter. He'll be with the side of Nick Camarado. And the main event, it's Private Party with Matt Hardy taking on Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, my God.
And coming up on Dynamite next week in Austin, Texas, it's the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, where the winner will get a future AEW World Championship. After that, we'll have the following and winter is coming, as we have NJPW when his AEW World Championship on the line against Ricky Stocks. More matches will be announced coming up on Rampage. Make sure to follow Tony Khan on Twitter for more match announcements for winter is coming. This is AEW.
Bravo. Well done. Well done, Josh. Excellent. Excellent. You should be replacing excellent, but I just don't. What reason do I have to tune into this program this week? And then Josh. But no, Josh, the reason to tune in is because of the main event.
Yes.
God. Another tumbling fest between trampoline wrestlers who have no idea how to tell a story, who have no idea how to do anything credible in the wrestling business, between people that care only about themselves, putting them over, and have convinced a billionaire that that is entertaining and that is good shit.
Yeah.
Josh, I'm surprised you haven't lost your entire IQ. I'm now starting to think the reason that you lost all your hair is because you're pulling it out, watching these trios matches in a best of 7. There is a very small percentage of the fan base that cares about this shit. And the rest of us couldn't give two flying flips about these. We're going to get the same match, Josh, 7 times in a row. The exact... Yes, thank you. We're going to get the exact same match 7 times in a row. That's it.
Yeah. Not only that, we have the Bermuda Triangle, as Jim Cornette coined the phrase now. That's a good one for the Death Triangle, the Bermuda Triangle. Hey, he's not wrong. They do get lost in the ring all the time. You have every recipe of this. That's the 7 series. Silly. You have the Dead Quartz rep, you have the Bermuda Triangle, you got Beavis and Butthead, and fucking Harpo McFingerfuck. That's what we have here.
And this is supposed to entertain us as wrestling. Well, and again, I hate Josh. I'll say to people out there, if that's what floats your boat, fine. Fine. God bless you. But this kind of stuff can only take you so far before injury sets in, old age sets in, and then what do you have? You have nothing. You have absolutely nothing. And it's just, and now, unfortunately, they're going to start to ruin Carry On My Wayward Son for me, because now this is the new song of the Elite for some reason.
Were you telling me that you were hearing Jungle Boy's song at weddings?
Yeah, because Jungle Boy's got an old song, and so I heard that at a wedding one time, and I went, "Oh no!" But
but seriously, you watch this match, and it's the same shit over and over again. I'm not lying to you. There's not one part of this match outside that 5-minute freaking brouhaha on the stage before the match even started. There was not one part of the match, Ricardo, where the other tag partners were standing on the apron holding on tag ropes. There was not one spot that there was no resemblance of any standard tag team match. It was run-ins and run-ins and run-ins and run-ins, one after another. Rick Knox was in rare form on Wednesday. That may be the shittiest performance he had as a ref during that match. And there's been a lot of bad ones. Trust me, there's been a lot of bad ones. But Jim Cornette mentioned this too, because I see it too all the time as I transcribe this. They are all doing all these sequences and tumbling routines, and then you have a wall period where people are just laying out on the floor waiting to do their next sequence and next tumbling routine. It's not logical, and you can't take it seriously. I can't suspend my disbelief with these trios matches. They're not good. They're not entertaining. Their match layouts make absolutely no sense. Literally, this match will drive you to a mental facility, like a insane asylum.
It's yeah, Josh. I can't think of anything else to say except I hate the Elite. I can't stand the Elite. Anytime Kenny Omega flaps his freaking gums, it makes me want to punch him in the mouth. The Young Bucks are the biggest tools I have ever seen. I hated this match. I hate this show. I can't, besides MJF and the Acclaimed and Ricky Starks, I hate AEW. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I don't.
All right, let's get out of here. This has been What the Hell is Wrong with AEW. I should put a curse on you.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yes.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. A fun episode. Man, this was long overdue, Brother Carter.
Yes, it was.
So much fun tonight.
Yes, it was.
You can follow Brother Carter, by the way, on Twitter at Derek Stoughton. Make sure you support his work at DerekStoughton.com and WrestlingRumors.net. Follow him on Instagram if you like at Jericho06. That's Jericho with a D. He is the director of all the operations.
Addition, subtraction, multiplication, fractions, denominators, numerators, all that stuff. Operations, heart transplants, brain surgeons. I'm director of all that, baby. Anything that has operation, the game where you go, I got that covered too. Director of all the operations.
How's the performance evaluation?
Oh, Josh, it's you get an A, of course, as always. Well done, my friend. Another great and fine episode of this fine show. Hey, this worked out so well. I think I may come back and be live again next week.
Yeah. No.
We'll have much to talk about, I am sure. But no, it's been great. Great to be back with you. Great to be back with the fans. And let's do it again next week.
Yes, sir. You can follow yours truly at Twitter at the Hoots Podcast. I've been logjammed with transcripts to the wazoo over the last couple weeks, especially with this combo New Japan World Tag League / Super Junior Tag League turn that ends on December 14th in Sendai, Japan. but almost done with that. But you can check out my work at ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram if you like, at Josh Lopez Media, at Josh Lopez Music. And in a couple weeks' time, we'll put the information on Twitter when it's all set and ready to go. But be on the lookout for the first time, just in time for the holidays, for you good brothers and good sisters. You're going to get first ever edition of Hoots podcast merch. Not only are you going to get our show logo, but also funny slang they're going to toss in there, but also the creme of the creme, if you will. The Taj Mahal of our merchandise is this bad boy right here. What the hell's wrong with really, shout out to Joe Stern. Shout out Joe Stern. Make sure to follow him at Humic_Savage. Joe's a great dude and a fellow professional wrestler as well, actually. So shout out to Joe. Thank you for the graphic, my brother. And yeah, we'll get that information out once it's all confirmed and all the fun stuff. I've been struggling. We got this designs and stuff that I want. It's just the process of putting it on a site that actually works. And I'm not the best when it comes to like figure out how big a picture is supposed to be and stuff like that. Like I'll figure it out. But anyways, I'm excited to get this merch out to you guys. And honestly, why wouldn't you want this on your hoodie or a t-shirt, or how you can have a water jug like this with that picture on it? Literally, you can have this with that wrapped up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it.
So for Brother Carter, I'm Joshie. This has been episode 337 of the Hoots Podcast. Remember, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of life but yourself and the man upstairs. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. There's no pay-per-views this weekend, thank God. And we'll be back here for another riveting edition of the Hoots Podcast. Yes, sir.